experience, and that just can be exacerbated when you're working across geographies, so that the employee who is being onboarded in Cape Town is not necessarily going to have the same experience being onboarded in Nairobi or in Lagos. So for me, being able to ensure the exact same experience for that new employee from an onboarding perspective, from a learning and development, from a training perspective, is really, really wonderful. And I think it also opens the door to increased opportunities. I mean, I work for a Fortune 200 company, and we built these multi-million-dollar training facilities for our technical specialists to go out into the field and work on this highly complex equipment. But the metaverse would mean that no matter where you are, you are able to have the same kind of training within the metaverse. So I think, it increases opportunity, it increases equality. I think from a digital equality and access perspective, that will lead then to the economic opportunity, the work opportunity, the training that you'll be able to access. So I think there are some incredible benefits, and I think what you mentioned around this generational shift and where we're going in a couple of years, and I just have to look at my nieces who are teenagers, and having grown up in immersed in technology, this digital world that is so much a part of them. And if we are wanting to attract that talent and develop that talent and engage that talent, we need to meet them where they are at, in essence. And I chuckle to myself when you mentioned your new employee, and you get email all these documents, and you got to PDF it, and if you're savvy enough, you got a PDF editor, but you still got to go through this manual process, even if you want to save a tree or two from not printing. But it really is archaic when you think about the functionality that exists within the digital realm, within the metaverse. It makes so much sense. And I think, Jean, from your perspective, from a people analytics and a data perspective, which I think is still, for me, quite a large area of development for many organizations, is people data and the analytics thereof. And if you are bringing your entire employee population to this one digital realm, to this metaverse, you are able to then elicit so much more data and be able to analyze those data points. And so you're sort of going beyond pulse surveys and employee surveys when you're able to have this wealth of data that you can then analyze in terms of finding out where are the next challenges, where are the developmental areas that we need to focus on for the HR organization, and start designing initiatives that are a lot more laser focused on where the needs are.
Oh yes, Andrew, I totally get that, and it's leading me into the question I was going to ask Jean. But I mean, from your experience, and again, maybe you can even talk about the challenges that organizations are having with their people data. Yeah, so when you deal with people or with organizations and consult with them and help them get to predictive analytics and predictive HR reporting, what are the top three challenges that you might be seeing? And then again, just like with Andrew's case, do you think that a metaverse, HR metaverse, would assist with obtaining employee data, for example? So just over to you there. Oh, Jean, okay, sorry. Just can you unmute yourself there? I just want to check. I think somebody is just forced mute you. I'll just unmute you there. Okay, just try again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
I can hear you, yes.
Well, I think on the HR side, the biggest problem that you sit with is obviously having 10,000 spreadsheets for ERP systems that typically don't cater to your company's analytical needs. The second problem is system integration. So where you've got one system giving you one report or analytical report, another system giving a different type of report, but really not leveraging the internal data that you've got across the entire employee life cycle. The other aspect is now that people are outside, when I say outside the work environment, working from home, is of course the personal security issues, and actually ensuring that data is aggregated into the system, into your company system. And that's just a people and data culture that you need to create. But I think where the metaverse will help with this is that all of your entire employee life cycle will effectively be tracked in the metaverse due to your normal behavior, your working behavior. So you could log you could get your payslip quite easily integrated into some form of metaverse, your talent acquisition, your CV. So all of this information will become digitized in the metaverse, which is a massive, massive leveraging point for data analytics, because then you can start aggregating vast amounts of employee data to inform your predictive and strategic decision making. So Elmen, that's how I see the metaverse really, really helping the digitization process. And then, of course, there are numerous behavioral aspects to this as well, which could be a double-edged sword, like we've seen with a lot of social media things. But the reality is that's where we are moving to. People are now working from homes, and people now want to be engaged a lot more. And every single aspect of our lives are digitized, and we find enjoyment out of it. So why not the working environment?
Definitely, I've got a very...
Yes,
Andrew.
As well, I think you touched on, thanks, and Jean, what you mentioned there is around engagement. I think, ensuring inclusion is also really important when you're working remotely or working hybrid, and that's something that I've always tried to endeavor, during the last couple of years, is making sure that, for those employees who do want to come into the office versus those who are working from home. And a simple example of you wanting to having a meeting, a scrum, a stand-up. You don't just want to have somebody's MacBook at the end of the boardroom and a few people dialed in. That's not going to give an inclusive experience. You want to really make sure that you have the technology that facilitates a sense of inclusion. And I think, the metaverse takes that a step further. And if you think about, what Meta are doing and Microsoft, some of their research around, they're going to the point of sort of holographic images. So, sort of like they're really taking it, not just within a virtual realm and putting on some VR goggles, but actually within the real world, that will start, coming into a physical realm as well. So I think that engagement piece can be really, really enhanced in this post-COVID hybrid environment that we need to operate in, and ensuring that people don't feel left behind, they don't feel excluded, that they really still can feel part of that organizational purpose and part of that team and the work that you're doing. And it goes beyond just having a call like we are having now and Slack messages. It really does enhance that experience and sense of inclusivity.